And I'm Muhammad HAZIQ bin AMRAN, and today we're gonna present about mammals. So this is our slide. So we have four main contents. First one is introduction, characteristic of mammals, the evolution of mammals, and also the groups of mammals.
So I explain about what is mammals. So in this phylogenetic tree of phylum Chordates, we can see that mammals is placed in the highest position in this figure. So what differs mammals from reptiles is that they have mammary glands. Okay, so mammals have class in the class of Mammalia. They have 4,600 species, so they evolved from reptiles. They differ from reptiles as they have synaptic skull, which has one opening behind the orbit and mammary glands. So what I say, one opening behind the orbit is that they have the lateral temporal opening, while reptiles have lateral and dorsal temporal opening. Also, they have mammary glands, where reptiles doesn't have mammary glands. I'll pass it on to HAZIQ to explain about the characteristics of mammals.
Okay, so now I will explain about the characteristic of mammals. So we have 5 main characteristics for mammals. So we will go one by one. So the first one is hair. So hair is the most distinguishing mammals characteristic besides the milk-producing mammary glands that I will explain later. So hair have some function for mammals. First one, it provides insulation against heat loss, so the mammals can be active even in cold weather because they become endothermic. For example, in North Pole, we have polar bear. So their hair will keep their heat and keep their body warm. Next is camouflage. So camouflage is a natural phenomenon used by plants or animals, in this case is animals, to blend to their environment. So for example, the predators and also maybe the prey like use camouflage to avoid detection. So the hair color helps to camouflage and blend into their surroundings, so they will not be detected by predators, so they will survive. And also the hair can be ornamental and serve sensory functions. Okay, the second characteristic is mammary glands. So mammary glands enable females to feed or nursing their young. So they don't need to leave them to find food. So their offspring will survive because they always besides them. So nursing also create a bond between mother and offspring, and also it provides antibodies for them through the milk, just like humans. Okay, the third characteristic is skeleton. So the mammalian skull accommodates larger brain relative to body size than the reptilian skull. And also the mammalian cheek teeth are differentiated as premolars and also molars. Mammals vertebrae highly differentiate, and the middle region is arched, while the limbs are under their body. Next is internal organ. So efficient respiratory and also circulatory system ensure ready oxygen supplies to their muscles. So this will produce body heat. Not only that, mammals also have a double loop circulatory pathway and 4-chambered heart just like the birds. Mammals' kidney adapted to conserving water and nervous system is highly developed. And the mammals exhibit complex behavior. So the last characteristic is internal development. So mostly mammals, their young are born alive after a development period in the uterus. So it shelters the young and also allows the female or the mother to move actively while the young are maturing. Next is the evolution of the mammals. So mammals share an amniotic ancestor with reptiles, and more immediate ancestors in Mesozoic era had synaptic skull. So the first true mammals appeared during the Triassic period, similar to the mice size. The common ancestor of all three mammals group appeared in late Triassic, early Jurassic period. That is about 220 million years ago. So monotremes was the earliest mammalian group that exists in the world. Such that we also have the marsupials that probably originated in the Americas and spread through South America and also Antarctica to Australia before this continent spread. The third group is placentas that originated in Eurasia and spread to the Americans during Mesozoic era. The placenta mammals underwent adaptive radiation into habitats previously occupied by the dinosaur. So this is the timeline of the evolution for the mammals group. You can see here we have three eras: Paleozoic era, Mesozoic era, and also the Cenozoic era. So the first one is the Paleosaurus that already extinct. So you can see here now that developed to the other aminoids, and the other is evolved to pteropside ancestor that we can see here. Only three lineages of mammal exist on the earth nowadays, which is the placentas, the marsupials, and also the monotremes. Okay, next is the mammals group. I will pass to my friend AKMA to share.
Thank you, HAZIQ. So I'll present about mammals group. So mammals have three different groups, which is monotremes, marsupials, and placental mammals. So firstly, the monotremes. Monos means one and trema is whole. So monotremes is egg-laying mammals that include only duck-billed platypus and two species of echidna or spiny antis. So these two animals, which is duck-billed, which is platypus and echidna, is the only monotremes that still exist nowadays. And so the term whole refers to presence of single urogenital opening, cloaca. So cloaca is shared excretory and reproductive canal. They lay hard-shelled amniotic eggs. So embryonic development does not occur in female's body, which means these monotremes, they are not, I can say that they are not pregnant. I mean, the embryo doesn't develop inside the female's body. So I'll show you a few examples of this monotremes animal. So this is a female duck-billed platypus. She lays her egg in a burrow. So next I will explain about marsupials. So marsupials came from the Greek word marsupium, which means pouch. So marsupials is also known as the pouch mammals. So there are a few examples, which is kangaroos, koalas, Tasmanian devils, wombats, sugar gliders, and opossums. So female, the marsupial female have unique reproductive system, which include 2 true uteruses and 3 vaginal canals. So the embryos of marsupials are nourished by yolk-based type of placenta inside the female's body, but born in immature condition. I will later explain about this. So the yolk site forms the definitive chorioviculin placenta. So the newborns are hairless and not yet open their eyes, but they will crawl into a pouch on their mother's abdomen. Inside the pouch, they will attach to nipples of mammary glands and continue to develop. Okay, so these marsupials, they have a very short gestation period because I said before that they will continue to develop outside the mother's body, which means the mother will only be pregnant for around 4 to 5 weeks, and then the further development occur outside the mother's body. That is what I meant by short gestation period. And the joey is born in an essentially fetal state. You had seen the young will leak out milk that seeps from modified sweat glands on the mother's abdomen, which is the mammary gland. Okay. And this is the next example, which is echidnas. So echidnas, they feed mainly on termites because they are ant-eaters, isn't it? So they have pores that seep milk in a shallow belly pouch formed by skin holes on each side. So what I can say is that they don't have teats or nipples. The milk only flow from that hole, and then the egg will move from cloaca to this pouch where hatching takes place. So the young will remain for about 53 days in the mother's pouch. Then they stay in a burrow where mother will periodically visit and nurses them. The joey stays in the pouch for up to a year in some species or until the next joey is born. So a marsupial joey is unable to regulate its own body temperature and it relies upon an external heat source. So some example of the external heat source is the mother's body heat. So until the joey is well fed and old enough to leave the bush, a push temperature of 30 to 32 degrees Celsius, around 86 to 90 degrees Fahrenheit, must be constantly maintained so that the joey is able to fully develop while maintaining the good body temperature. So I'll show you the example of marsupial animals. Now, from the up and the left side is opossum, and next to it is kangaroo, and also show the gliders. Okay, and at the bottom right is Tasmanian devils, wombats, and also koala. So next, I will present to you about placental mammals, the third group of mammals. So these placental mammals are also known as eutherians. They are the dominant group of mammals on Earth. So whenever we say that the animal is mammals, usually it is the placental mammals because only 6 of marsupials and 2 of monotremes. Okay. So the primary derived characteristic that distinguishes them from other mammals is that the mothers carry the fetus in their uterus, where it is nourished via the placenta. So what is placenta? Placenta is a very specialized organ for exchange of substances between maternal blood and fetal blood. So nutrients are supplied to the growing fetus and wastes are passed to mother for excretion. The mother has advantage of being able to freely move while the fetus develops. Next, these mammals, they lead an active life. Why? Because they don't have to take care of their child until they are born. So they have acute senses and their brain is enlarged due to the convolution and expansion of the foremost part cerebral hemispheres. As you can see, their brain is not fully developed for some time after birth. So these are the examples of some placental mammals that are secondarily adapted to live in water. So there are whales, manatees, dolphins, seal, and sea lions. And these are the few examples of placentals that can glide, which are flying squirrels, scaly-tailed squirrels, and flying lemurs. The flying lemurs is the one that sticks to the tree and has a very round eye. And bats are the only mammals that can actually fly. So there are 20 orders of placental mammals. Placental mammals can also be known as placentals. So there are 20 orders of it, and human is also mammals. So we have come to an end, and I will summarize the three three groups that have the features that distinguishes them. So if they all three have males, which comes out from the mammary gland. But monotremes, they don't have nipples. As I said before, the infant will only lick up on their mother's body, which they get because they have that the skin that can be folded. So the milk will stay there. And then monotremes is the only mammals that lay eggs. Okay? And the other two groups of mammals, they give birth. And also monotremes, they don't have uterus. That's why they don't go through pregnancy. But marsupials have more than one uterus because, as I said before, they have two true uteruses. But placentas only have one. And then monotremes, they don't have placenta because so that's why they don't undergo pregnancy as I said before. But marsupials, they only have simple placenta because they undergo pregnancy for only short period of time. Okay, and it is the yolk-based type of placenta. Remember? And then these placentals, they their birth canal. For monotremes only, will they will lay eggs to the cloaca canal. Because the name is monotremes, that one hole refer to that cloaca. And then marsupials have more than one vagina, because I said before they have three true vagina. But placentas only have one vagina. So Haziq, do you have anything else to add into this?
Okay, maybe we can just conclude what the main point that we have present. So we have go through the first about mammals, the phylogenetic tree, and then we went through the characteristic. There are 5 characteristics. The first one is the hair of fur. The second is mammary glands, the skeleton, internal organs, and also internal development. So we have go through this in the presentation. Next, also we have discussed present about the mammals evolution. And nowadays we know that the only 3 mammals group that still exist in the world is the monotremes, the marsupials, and also the placenta mammals. And then we go through one by one the 3 groups characteristic, and also we have summarized what is the difference between the 3 groups. So I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching and this presentation.
Thank you for watching, guys.